I've been playing football since I was 7. My dad came to every single game and watched me play.
Mr. Tucker was phenomenal. Wonderful father, wonderful husband. He would always encourage Malcolm when he played football, and he always instilled in him to do your best.
My senior year was a great season. Every time I scored a touchdown, I would look up in the stands to see my family. He'd be right there clapping and smiling. And his usual phrase is, "That's my dude," or "That's my boy," and yeah, that's what he would usually say.
In March of 2015, my husband started to lose a lot of weight. I said, there's definitely something wrong. The doctor suggested that Duke would be the best place for my husband to receive the best care possible. They did a CAT scan, and the CAT scan came back showing that there was a mass in his esophagus and in his stomach.
He was biopsied and diagnosed as having metastatic colon cancer with extensive metastasis to his liver.
Mr. Tucker stayed in Duke Raleigh Hospital for 2 weeks, but he was adamant he wanted to come home. That whole weekend was just rough for him, and we ended up going back to Duke Raleigh.
How you feeling, Mr. Tucker?
They said that he was dehydrated, his kidneys were failing, and then they realized that the cancer was just so rapid. Chemotherapy was not an option, radiation was not an option.
There are times where your job as a physician is to understand that the best thing that you can do is to preserve their humanity.
He couldn't breathe, ended up in ICU. They called me the next day to come see him. The doctor comes out and he says, "Your husband is dying."
It was tough for me and my family because it just happened. Like, you know, one day he was out all week playing golf, and then the next day he was just sick. Me and my sister really didn't know what was going on until my mom finally told us. He was there all our lives, and it was just, we loved him so very much, and it was just hard.
We talked about comfort, quality of life versus quantity of life, and what was most important to them.
I'd received a call from Jill, one of our case managers, letting me know of Mr. Tucker's prognosis. Jill and I entered the room with the palliative care doctor to talk to Mr. Tucker and to hear out his wishes. He had shared with me that there were 2 goals that he had. One was to play golf with Tiger Woods, and the other was to see his son Malcolm graduate from high school.
I don't know that we're going to get Tiger Woods, but we did want to try and do something for you and for your son.
His graduation scheduled for Friday, May 22nd. Mr. Tucker was adamant that he wanted to go to Malcolm's graduation.
And we weren't sure if he was going to be with us long enough to experience that and to get him home to Virginia. And so we kind of brainstormed and figured, if we can't get him to the actual graduation, can we bring graduation to him here at Duke Raleigh?
That started the chain reaction of getting the ICU staff involved, the doctors involved, case managers, and everybody really came together as a team to see if we could pull this off in the next 24 hours.
So streamers and cake?
And I'm like, really? I mean, because a lot of times you hear these things happen in hospitals, but it's like now I'm the recipient of this gesture. Sadness brings on joy because now here we are and the people at the hospital wants to do something for our family.
Adrian, our chaplain, came running down to my office to say, you know, really need your help. I'd be honored to help in any way I can.
Okay. We're turning it around pretty quick. It'll be tomorrow afternoon around 2:30, and the patient doesn't know anything about it. Ms. Tucker gave us permission to discuss his care and to discuss his prognosis. Well, I was calling about a student of yours, Malcolm. We were hoping to get a copy of his high school diploma and do a mini graduation in his father's room tomorrow. We had the diploma emailed to us. It came across and it looked like the real thing. It had been signed by all of the officials in Virginia, particularly in the school district.
Mr. Tucker had sort of lost hope and, you know, realizing that he wasn't going to be able to attend and see his son, you know, walk the stage.
Our ICU did what they do best, which is coming together in a crisis, and they, you know, they got decorations, they got a cake, and we kind of threw a party.
Hey, how are you?
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Malcolm, how's it going? Going good.
And I had the opportunity to catch Jackie and Malcolm when they came into the hospital that day. There was this level of excitement that we were going to be able to do something like this.
As I was getting my graduation gown on, it's going through my head. I was just happy. I wouldn't be anywhere else but there with him, you know, celebrating a special time in my life.
It started out as us kind of gathering, and I think Mr. Tucker was wondering what was going on.
I think everybody was just sort of, you know, holding their breath and just taking in this moment. And Mr. Tucker, I mean, there was just a huge smile on his face, and I think he was really overcome with joy.
He was very surprised, and he was pleased, and he was honored. He just felt so happy that that was, you know, taking place for him.
The one person who stood out to me was Dr. Zoss. He acted as my principal and gave me my diploma.
It was only afterwards when you could see the tears. You could hear Mr. Tucker talk to his son in kind of a quiet voice and express to him his love.
And it was one of those moments that you look back and you think, man, that as a father to a son, and to have the privilege of hearing some of that conversation was really special.
It was hard as principal to not break down crying.
Duke Raleigh it was amazing. They're a great team. It's taught me a lot. Kindness brings you a long way. It helps other people get through what they're going through also. It was a tremendous gift.
Hope and healing isn't always easy to find in a hospital setting, particularly when you have a patient who's nearing the end of life. And so I think you have to begin looking at what other hope is out there and other possible ways to bring healing into someone's life.
I really appreciate all that they have done, all the support, the concern, the care that they gave to my husband, to my family and I. They went above and beyond what they were asked to do. And I'm so grateful and thankful, and I don't take that for granted. And you know, and my prayer is that they be blessed as much as they have blessed my family and I during that time in our life.
My father passed away 3 days after my graduation. When things didn't go well for me, he would just say, you win some, you lose some, just fight another day. My dad would want me to just keep pushing, just keep working hard, just do what I want to do, doing what I love, making my mom proud, taking care of my sister. So it's all smiles.